Space Cowboy Books presents Simultaneous Times, a science and speculative fiction podcast. Short stories to stir the imagination by contemporary authors.
Emotion XXXX by Jiang, with music by Fog Machine, read by Jean-Paul Garnier. Your foot taps at a furious pace, shaking the dorm desk that is too short for your crossed legs stacked on top of one another. You pick up your phone, the illuminated screen displaying 5 notifications. Place it down, pick it up again, stare at the screen, itching to unlock it but knowing you shouldn't. 10 notifications. Phone down again, then try throwing it into your desk drawer only to retrieve it minutes later. Final exam is in 8 hours. Enough time, but also seeming to be completely insufficient. At least you don't have to attend in person. Your hologram projection would suffice. They keep tabs on your laptop activity during the final anyhow. You wonder if they extract information from your browser and document histories. They say they don't, but you can never be sure. You hide your phone behind your laptop where you can't see it. Out of sight, out of mind, as they say. But the phone vibrates, and you reach around the open screen with your chaotic notes and different highlights to grab it. Before you answer the call, you notice 12 notifications for a sale going on. You've been waiting to buy the newest notebook, the one that connects to your mind and takes notes by thought only. You consider answering the call later, but you notice it is your sister, and there is no way she won't keep calling until you pick up. Interruptive as always. When Wu-Tung's holographic face pops up on the phone, your eye remains fixated on the laptop screen, willing your mind to remember its contents. Wu-Tung never rubs in her successful career or dashing husband, at least not verbally. She doesn't have to, since all our relatives do it for her anyhow, including Mom and Dad. Hello, what do you want? Mom's asking how you're doing. Why doesn't she just call herself? You know her. Just answer the question so she'll stop bothering me. Tell her I have finals and want to focus. Can't you just call her and tell her? Then why did you? Laughter echoes in the background. Just call her. Gotta go. Line goes dead. A sigh. Mother doesn't even give you a chance to call her first because only 10 minutes later, your phone vibrates again. You pick up. Sorry, finals. Hang up again. When your phone vibrates next, there is 4 hours left. You decline the call this time, but your fingers itch to open the World Shop app to browse the sales that have been dominating your thoughts all day. So much so, you begin to see floating pens, notebooks, random trinkets like soap holders and feet warmers you really don't need in between the definitions you were trying to memorize. You can't mess up. Not this time. Mom said you sounded stressed, Wu-Tung says. I'm not stressed. This is the 8th call added up from both Mother and Wu-Tung. Half an hour left until the exam. You throw the family portrait across the room, then hang up. The framed digital portrait shatters against the wall. Fingers twitch. You don't need to be like Wu-Tung. You don't need to please Mom either, do you? This time you allow your desire to run its course. You hover your index over the World Shop app and take a deep breath, smiling into the camera. The emotion recognizer app Mom installed without your permission loaded. Blue light blinds as it scans your face. To prevent you from stress spending, Mom said, just in case. A ping. Emotion. Stressed. Access denied. Your smile shakes, stretches, then collapses. Another ping, followed by vibration from an incoming call. Emotion, angry, access denied. Call rejected. You try again. Emotion, frustrated, access denied. Vibration, end call, again. You chuck the phone towards the family portrait and don't check to see if it's still functioning. Some of the shards are not quite dead. You curse when you realize your laptop restarted by itself after days of running without being shut down once. A 15-minute countdown to the start of the exam flashed on your laptop screen as soon as it rebooted, along with WorldShop notification. You wait as the login scanner runs down your face. Your eyes widen when the first thing that pops open is not your exam window, but the desktop version of the shopping app, not allowing you to shift the screen elsewhere. You chuck the laptop into the same corner where everything sits shattered, and don't try and pick up the pieces until the time allotted for your exam long passes. You can't tell how long you've been staring at the ceiling, spinning on your desk chair with your knees pulled up, but you know there is no way to take the exam on another date without a doctor's note. One you know your parents won't try to forge you because they already had to do it one too many times at your old school. At this new school, you excel, or as much as you can with the WorldShop app always at the back of your mind. No, you're not addicted. You're not. There's still one semester left, more than enough time to pull up your grades. Open up. Wu-Tang. Where are Mom and Dad? You ask. They usually come check on you when you have a meltdown. They're not coming this time. Now open up. Call them. You call them. You can almost hear the smirk in her voice because she knows you can't. This isn't the first time you've broken a phone. With an exacerbated mutter, you pull yourself up, then drag your feet towards the door. Glass shards break down further under your slippers. Did you bring a new one? Mom and Dad said they'll get you a new laptop, but not a new phone. You grit your teeth, arms folded across your chest. Until graduation. Your mouth hangs. Wu-Tang pulls a new laptop from her bag and a doctor's note. Or you'll have to attend in-person classes. Without another word, you grab both from your sister's hands and slam the door in her face. Good luck. Wu-Tang's voice is already retreating with her footsteps. You don't need any luck. It's fine. Everything is fine. When the laptop loads, it's already connected to your previous profile. Login goes smoothly since you're calm now, but as soon as the desktop pops up, your fingers itch towards the WorldShop app again instead of pulling open the school email to report the doctor's note. But your eyes widen when you realize the app is no longer there. As if by impulse, you shut the laptop and raise it over your head, but pause when your eyes meet a piece of the family portrait still flickering in the corner. Wu-Tang's successful eyes glaring. Last Witness by Ricardo Victoria, with music by Patrick Earn, read by Jean-Paul Garnier. Tariq walked slowly towards the designated spot. Mustering enough energy to move was challenging enough, given their conditions. This would be the last time they would leave their abode on the desolated, dead world to witness what was to come. They told themselves there was still time. But time, like the rest of the universe, was on its last legs. As they reached the place and took a seat, they realized that the surface was cold. Cold as anything could be. Whatever portent had allowed the gods to create them to still move, exist even, in a coherent atomic structure, made Tariq wonder. They were created eons ago, way before the first living being had been born. to record everything. And that included this day. Who or what would find this recording, how the recording would survive and reach the other side, was out of their neutrino computer capabilities of calculation. But they had a mission, and they would fulfill it. Tariq could feel, if that was the right word or the correct meaning, how the last remnants of energy left their body, and with that, their own body's demise. It doesn't matter, they thought. They had just enough energy stored to keep recording all the data the failing sensors could gather. Measurements about entropy, atomic decay, ordinary matter evaporating, protonic instability. Only the random photons and neutrinos remained. And so, Tariq stared ahead, unmoving, unflinching, as one by one, the last scraps of light and warmth of the universe, the last of the singularities evaporated into oblivion. Tariq was mostly fine with this. They had been created for this purpose, and yet they felt something was amiss. During eons, they had studied not only the universe itself, but life. And the constant of life, sentient life at least, was the need for companionship. While their brain wasn't programmed for feelings, at least at the start, after all this time, their brain had evolved to feel. So now, after billions of years and the rise and fall of countless civilizations, they could acknowledge the presence of a feeling, one that had been present after it saw the death of the last living being, yearning. They yearned for companionship, for understanding, for a hug. The same other life forms had had until their very existence had been impossible to sustain in a dead universe. Tariq felt the coldness of entropy creeping over their body and wished something could give them a hug. Gods, forgive me. I might come across as silly for wondering about going home and receiving a hug, they thought. There was a sense of emptiness in a particular region of their brain. But I feel alone, and I wish to go home, please. As their brain, their soul, their very existence represented by the neutrino computer started to scatter, it kept recording as much as it could. At the last moment, a teeny light connected with them. They felt how the surviving parts of the records in their brain were sucked across the light tunnel into a more luminous realm. If they could have, Tariq would have smiled or dropped a single tear. Maybe this is how it feels to be touched by your gods and being able to finally go home, they thought. Thank you for not forgetting about me. Can I have a hug now? And Tariq finally passed away, the last witness of the dying universe they were sent to observe. So did you manage to recover it? One asked. It was hard, but after a while I managed to recover almost all the data, Six replied. What do you mean by almost? You know we need all of it. One sounded exasperated. The dark marks under his eyes were proof of the duress he was under, and that made him unkind. I know, but recovering data about the quantum vacuum from a dying universe is trickier than it sounds. And it already sounds like a headache, Six explained. I thought it could be doable, one said. Up to a point. You have to understand. Information on that particular situation degrades faster. It's a miracle that Tariq... The probe, one pointed. Right, the probe, Sixth replied with a sigh. It was nothing short of a miracle it lasted long enough for us to start the extraction. So data degraded somewhat. Can it be recovered? The probe? That's impossible. There is no possible way to bring it into our universe. We had to assemble it there for a reason. Crossing between universes is not possible now. Maybe never. Poor thing. Forget about the damn probe. One pinched the bridge of his noses. I'm talking about the missing data. Now that would be a miracle, Look, I understand the precariousness of the situation, but at least we have 95% of the data. That's better than expected. Let's hope you're right. The data obtained by the probe from that micro-universe should help us devise a way to deal with the impending heat death of our own. Aren't we still millions of years away from that happening? Why the hurry? Six was confused. This wasn't his area of expertise. Because in this case, millions won't be enough to develop the whole system we need to rewrite the underpinnings of the universe and restart it. And with it, save sentient life. The Diosa Madre project will use most of the resources of thousands and thousands of species across the universe to create the tools to do it. You make it sound more dire than it seems. The disadvantage of having developed a certain degree of cosmic awareness. My species can feel the pulse of the universe, and the signs are not good. All right, Six said, shrugging his shoulders. Take the data we have and I will attempt another retrieval. Just bear in mind that with time dilation, this chat might have taken too long and that universe might already be into its dark era. That's all I'm asking for. Besides, the neutrino computer might still be functional even if its body is all but gone. No big deal. Yeah, right, Six replied with sadness. Not a big deal for you. As he was left alone in the control room and started the procedure for the quantum entanglement recovery, he couldn't avoid feeling bad for Tariq. To hell with not being allowed to give them the respect of a sentient being. They were left alone in the cold, unknown universe, sent to stare at the dying embers of reality. And he wondered how they must have felt being the last survivor of the universe, the last being watching alone how the lights were turned off with no way to go back home. Six wished to have given Sharik a hug as they died. For in Six's opinion, what was the point of saving a universe if you can't even feel empathy for the lonely plight of a lowly probe? Everyone deserved love, especially those that are giving it all to save countless species. Six resumed his task, wishing in his heart that Sharik could be proud of their life's work, and that he could have given Sharik a hug as they died. In this episode of Simultaneous Times, you heard Emotion XXXX by Jiang, with music by Fog Machine, and Last Witness by Ricardo Victoria, with music by Patrick Earn. Theme music by Dane Luscombe. Come visit us at our bookstore in Joshua Tree or online at spacecowboybooks.com. Don't forget to subscribe, and visit us on Instagram and Twitter. We'd love to know what you think of the show.